Hey guys, welcome back to Libro Review. I hope you're doing very nice, and I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 21 books that you must read before turning 21. I wanted to post this video in the last week on 3rd June when it was my birthday and I just turned 21, but I had a puffy eye because of which this eye was really swollen, so I couldn't shoot and I couldn't upload for all these days, and I'm so happy to be back on the camera after so long. I don't really usually believe in the fact that you have to read a certain book by a certain age, but I do know that these books have helped me a lot till today. They're fiction and non-fiction, so they will either entertain you a lot or at the same time they will help you to develop a lot. Therefore, hoping that will really help you, let's begin the video. The first book is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. Now this book contains, as the title suggests, the 7 spiritual laws of success. Why I say that you have to read this book before turning 21 is because you never know which of the laws you really want to understand and implement in your life consciously, and which laws you just want to let go. And these 7 spiritual laws are extremely important for success. I do not recommend this book to very young children or young adults or something. This book is a little tough to read and it's very concise, so read accordingly. The next book is My Life I Decide by Rinku Sahani, and this book will really help you to understand what questions you're supposed to be asking yourself at this age, because I feel like once you turn 21 you do get out in the real world and there are so many new things that you have to face, and in that whole phase where everything is so new, we kind of forget what we really want in our life, what makes us happy, what motivates us. And this book will help you to understand the right questions you need to ask yourself in order to empower yourself and understand what you really want in your life. Along with that, it also helps you to get rid of people pleasing. It will help you to de-victimize yourself because of any past experiences. Basically, it will ready you to be the person who is ready to go out there knowing what they want, believing in themselves and conquering life. The next book is fiction, which is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I'm recommending this book because it is revolving around teenagers and the pressure of when they have to finish high school and go to college and what pressure they're going through, and then a lot of shit happens in their life and everything is This is the story of Frances, who really wants to go to this certain college, but then a lot of things happen and the creator of her favorite podcast, Universe City, enters her life and she's what is going it basically turns very crazy. She's discovering a lot of new things about herself, about relations, about friendship and everything, about love also. So I feel like this is one of the best books that you can read before turning 21. Next non-fiction book I want to recommend is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Now this book will help you to build habits with the help of 4 main laws. This is one of the easiest books out there. It is so essential to be able to create good habits for yourself, and the earlier you learn it, the better for you. I only learned it 1 year back. I read it recently and I was just hoping I read it a few days back, because when we're younger than 21 and all that stuff, we really tend to be woohoo, I can do anything, nothing is going to happen with me. But when we grow older and we actually go out in the real world, we do realize that there are certain things which are very harmful for us, and we have built a lot of bad habits already. Now we don't know how to break them and we don't know how to build good habits. Therefore, if you read this book, you will know how to break bad habits and build good habits, which will be amazing for you. After 21, you will get into the rhythm of creating good habits and it will be very beneficial for you. The next fiction book I want to recommend is The 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak. This is the story of Ella, who is a 40-year-old and she's living a mundane life, but then she receives this book that she has to talk about, write about a report, and she's whoa ho ho. And now that book is the story of Shams of Tabriz and Rumi and their love and their companionship, and then she realizes that, oh my god, look at my life, it's so mundane. So basically that book has a very huge impact on Ella, and that book consists of the 40 rules of love. Why I'm recommending this book is, one, it is beautiful. It is so beautifully written. It's a gorgeous book. It is very Sufi-ish, Sufi, yeah. And secondly, because the 40 rules of love, oh my god, they are so essential for our life, and I did not realize it. I just finished reading it in May and I was why haven't I read this book before? Now again, if you are very young or if you are not into a lot of spirituality or fantasy and stuff like that, if you're extremely realistic, then this book is not meant for you. Like, though I think you should still read this book because of the 40 rules of love, but then the storyline won't make sense to you. But if you do believe in like fantasy and you're extremely like spiritual and all those kind of things, then this book is going to be a gorgeous ride for you. The 40 rules of love will change your life because they will make you understand what an ocean of love you are, and you will be able to get rid of all the hurt and pain and everything that you carry within yourself. The next fiction book is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Now this is the story of Asa, who is suffering through a lot of mental illnesses. She has OCD and anxiety. She always keeps thinking that there are a lot of microorganisms out there who are coming to get her and she is going to die because of them and stuff like that. So she's suffering through all those problems, and at the same time she has her best friend, and her best friend and she are trying to solve a case, because if they solve that case they will get a lot of money, and then that is a whole new story. So basically it is the amalgamation of these two situations. Why I'm recommending it to you to read before 21. One, it is very easy to read, it is simple, it is also like the kids are teenagers, and secondly because of the philosophy of Turtles All the Way Down, which you will understand once you read the book. This philosophy is so essential, especially in teenage. So even if you are a teenager, especially a teenager who overthinks a lot, then this book will really help you a lot. The next fiction book I want to recommend is The Giver by Lois Lowry. Why I'm recommending it for you to read it before 21 is because there is a big chance that you won't really like the entire concept after you turn a little older. Also because it is children's fantasy, also because the teenagers can read it and it is amazing. So basically it is the story of a guy who is living in a world which is perfect. There is no hunger, no pain, no sorrow whatsoever, but at the same time there is no music, no art, no emotions, no love, and nothing. And then he becomes the receiver of memory, and he receives certain memories which changes his life, and then he wants to change the world also, and this is basically his journey. Now, two things. As I said, it is fun to read, especially if you are a younger person, because the protagonist of the book also is young, and secondly because even if you're like in your teens, like late teens, like 18, 19, 20, 21, even then it will really make you a very grateful person for humanity. The next book I want to recommend is Attitude is Everything by Jeff Keller. Now this is a book that will really help you to shift your attitude and make you understand that it is not the situations that control you. Your attitude controls the situations. Certain things in our life just keep happening. We don't always have control over all the situations in our life, but on the other hand we do have the control over our attitude towards those situations, towards life, towards ourselves, and that is what matters. It is very, very simple to read, whatever age you are. I think it is perfect for you to read. It will really help you a lot to have a positive attitude, and if you are just turning 21 and going out into the real world, this will be like your savior. The next book I want to recommend is You Are a Badass by Jensen Serio. This book is mainly for your self-empowerment, and it is extremely essential for you to read it before you go out in the real world and somebody has the guts to come and tell you that you suck or that you are not good enough for what you want to do. Thinking that you're awesome and actually believing in it are two different things, and this book will teach you that differentiation. The next book I want to recommend is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Law of Attraction is the secret, and this is one of the best books out there to explain what the law of attraction is and how you can use it in your day-to-day life. Very, very young teenagers cannot read it because it won't make sense to them, but if you are like a young adult or like 18, 19, 20, something like that, then you will be able to understand what is written, and at the same time you will be able to judge whether you are into this kind of stuff or not, because there are a lot of people out there who do not believe in the law of attraction, which doesn't mean that the law of attraction doesn't work, but there are people who don't believe in it. So once you read it, you will know whether you believe in it or not, and you will get the time to experiment with it, and if it does work for you, then after 21 you're gonna be whatever you want. The next book I want to recommend is We Should All Be Feminist by Chimamanda Adichie. Why I'm recommending this book to every person out there, every teenager, young adult, whatever, is because it is extremely essential for you to educate yourself on this topic, and this is just the beginning. Once you read this book, your mind will open up in order to do a little bit more of research and understand what feminism means and why you should be a feminist, and you will understand the misconceptions that have been going around on this topic of feminism. So this is just the first step which you must take as soon as possible. The next fiction book I want to recommend is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, simply because it is very easy to read. This is just the story of the Orient Express, which is carrying 14 passengers and one of them dies. Now the detective on the train has to find out who the murderer was, and it is so much fun to read. And I don't know, probably after you're 21 you won't really get the time to read such books, like, you know, you'll be more into self-development and stuff. So I'm just gonna keep that in mind and recommend this book to you. The next book I want to recommend, which is one of the heaviest books in the entire pile, is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. I'm recommending this book because it is extremely essential for you to understand what these 7 habits are, because they are not just simple habits like waking up in the morning and having more water and having your fruits and stuff like that. Those are the basics. These go deeper than that, and if you're prepared with these habits before you turn 21, awesome for you. Now again, teenagers or, like, I don't know, young people, don't read it. Like, it won't, I don't know why you're gonna read it, but if you are like 20 or like 19, 20, stuff like that, like for those 2 years, must read this book. The next book I want to recommend is The Quick and Easy Way to Effective Speaking by Dale Carnegie. Now this is a very simple book that will help you to understand basics of communication, which is one of the major skills you require in order to go in the real world and get what you want. I would recommend a heavy book for this, but I really want you to understand what kind of communication you want to do in your life, and then pick up the book. And I will have a whole new video on different books for communication, but this is basic. This will help you with the starting, you know, you will know the basic principles you need to know. I think I'm just repeating myself right now, but yeah, you got it right. The next book I want to recommend is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Now again, this book is not meant for very young people, but if you want to read it, your choice. This book is going to teach you how to make money. It will actually make you financially legitimate. I really like highly recommend you to read this book, because it will help you to understand how this entire finances work, the things that you may have not learned in school. It's all practical knowledge, and at the same time, I think we have this mentality towards money, that money is evil, and this book will help you to break that mentality. The next book I want to recommend is I Am by Maggie O'Farrell. Now this is a collection of 17 experiences, near-death experiences of the author. It is non-fiction, and I'm recommending this book to you because you will be able to understand the importance of every single heartbeat and every single breath you take in this world, and will really help you to, first of all, be grateful to be where you are, and secondly, it will help you to do whatever you want to do without overthinking it. And I think it just pushes you to live life the way you want and actually live life, you know. Don't just think of it as a race and just keep running towards something, but at the same time, don't just keep sitting somewhere. The next 2 books I want to recommend, which I always recommend, is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho and The Ultimate Gift by Jim Stovall. This book will help you to dream. This book will help you to understand the gifts that you already have, which you can use to do whatever you want in your life, and at the same time be a very grateful person. I will put the descriptions of these books in the description box below, because I talk about these books a lot already. But yeah, these are the reasons, and any age can read this. It's so simple to read, and I think this is the 2 books which have changed my life at a very young age. I think I was like 15, I guess. So yeah, I highly recommend it. The next book I want to recommend is The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying by Marie Kondo, simply because you need to learn how important it is for you to keep your surroundings clean and how it actually affects your life. And we don't really focus on this. We don't really focus on how the clutter is affecting our life, and we don't even know how to get rid of that clutter. But this book has the philosophy that will help you to get rid of clutter and have the things in your house that will only give you joy and will help you to lead a simpler and happier life. Next book I want to recommend is Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is so important to read. This book is, oh my god, like you actually, I feel like you can also read it after, like whenever you're having a midlife crisis, because Elizabeth Gilbert was in the middle of a midlife crisis when she started traveling to these 3 countries, and she was able to rediscover herself. Recommending it to you for you to read it before turning 21, because you need to understand how important traveling is and how it can change your life, and what more there is to life except, I don't know, the boundaries that you have created in your brain. The last book I'm going to recommend is Mindful to Mindful by Om Swami. Now I'm recommending that book because that book has a lot of practical steps that you can take in order to be more mindful and peaceful in your life. And when we are 21 or like younger than that, oh my god, this is like always going crazy. So just for you to build more confidence, more focus, more mindfulness, this book will be perfect for you. So you guys, this was it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you did get at least one book that you will read very soon if you are under 21. But I also want to say that it is not important for you to be 21 to read these books. Even if you are not and you are struggling through some things that I have mentioned in the video, please do pick up whichever book you want. And that is it. I'll see you guys soon. Please do subscribe. We are very near to 2000, and that's it. Bye.